Good day, collectors and viewers. Social Distance Warrior is back, and today we're going to look at Luke Skywalker in one of his very famous outfits, this one from Return of the Jedi in his Endor outfit. So of course Luke Skywalker in his Endor outfit made his debut way back in 1983 in Return of the Jedi. So in Return of the Jedi, once they've finished with Jabba the Hutt and saving Han Solo, they end up on Endor. When they're on Endor, Luke Skywalker joins the bunch, the Rebel Squad, and they get together to take out the Empire, to take out the shield generator, so they can make an attempt on the second Death Star and finish Emperor Palpatine and his crew off for good. So Luke Skywalker wasn't on the original release of figures on the Return of the Jedi card, but you know, as the line continued on before Star Wars was done, once the movie was out of the theaters, in 1984 he'd come out in the Power of the Force on the 92 back. A brand new card. I have one here just to show you as well. So let's have a look at that one first. That's Luke over here. Of course, I have him encased in acrylic over here because he is a very old action figure. I wanted to preserve him and take care of him. But you can see him in all his glory inside there. He's got his blaster by his side, right? He does have a holster on his belt as well, where the blaster would go in. He's got nice soft goods sitting over. He doesn't have a removable helmet like Princess Leia. His is fixated on there, but you can still see by the face that it's Luke Skywalker. Now, all these figures came with the Millennium Minted coins, and you can see Luke's got his in there as well on his speeder bike, Rebel Leader. He does have that blaster that he had from Jabba's palace, and then here on the bottom here it says Luke Skywalker in battle poncho, and you can see the nice picture that they've used. Now, I love these card backs. Anybody that grew up in the 80s, and when they see that Star Wars logo, such a different looking logo there, it reminds me of Chrysalis and the Crystar in that whole comic book and toy craze around that really peculiar character. That's what that Star Wars logo always reminded me of. It's got like a crystal blue look to it. The figure is awesome. Other than the fact that the helmet's not removable, it's Luke Skywalker. I don't know why they didn't decide to include a lightsaber in here. He does use his lightsaber in this outfit, so that would have been nice to have. But, you know, it's a test of time. It's Star Wars right before the line was finishing off. I'll just turn this around as well to show you what the back looks like too. So there it says collect all 62 coins. And of course on the back here you can see every single figure. And it says collect all 92. And if you'll notice over here at the bottom, they have a man. The only one that they're missing on here is the late release of Yak Face, but other than that, you can see every single Star Wars figure that ever came out. So if you were a kid and you were staring at one of these card backs, you could look at it for hours and depict all the characters that you had there on the back. So I just want to show that close up before we move on, just because it's part of Star Wars history. And that's what Luke looked like back in 1984, before the line was done, the final 17 figures. So Star Wars, of course, would go into hiatus. We wouldn't get any Star Wars figures for a number of years, and it would make its return in the 90s with the Power of the Force 2 line. So he wasn't on the original release of figures. They started with the New Hope stuff, and they moved on to Empire, and they slowly moved into Return of the Jedi with the Power of the Force 2. And we get a brand new Luke in 1997. We wouldn't get him on a single release card, but we'd get him as part of a vehicle pack with the speeder bike. So we got a brand new Luke Skywalker on Endor gear with a speeder bike. That's this figure over here. Let's bring him forward just to show you. Now I did stick some sticky tack underneath there. I'm going to remove that just so I can show you what he looks like. Fully around. He came with a lightsaber. He's got his battle poncho on there. You can see it's not soft goods. They used a pliable plastic. That is removable, so you could take that off. You can see his helmet. It's got that face from the Power of the Force 2 Luke. So he's got his helmet on there. He's been updated. He does look a little bulky again, even with the poncho on. He does come with his lightsaber. And I'm going to show you that as well. I'm going to pull that lightsaber out just to show you. The lightsaber's got a really interesting handle. It's got a really fat handle. You can see the really thick handle. Because if you look in his hand is, you know, wider so it can hold the handles on the speeder bike. So you don't bust the hands up. So it's designed with a wider sculpt there. And as a result, if they gave you the standard lightsaber, your figure would never be able to hold it. You can see his other hand is wide as well. So he's got the black glove on this one, and then no glove over here. And there was some releases without a glove on both sides, and of course they fixed that going forward, and mine has the glove on the right hand as well. So if we look at articulation wise, he can move his arms up and down. If we look over here at his legs, he can move his legs up. You can also bend his knees, so that's a first for Star Wars, and Luke Skywalker is one of the first figures to get that because he needs to ride that speeder bike. So they made one with Luke, they made one with Endor Leia, and they made one with a biker scout as well, so you can reenact that scene. I'm going to pull off the poncho momentarily just to show you what he looks like underneath. So we pull that poncho off. There's Luke Skywalker. It's basically the exact same figure that we had before, but he's got the new legs, which is nice. Head turns side to side. Okay. He's got articulation at the waist, which a lot of the Power of the Force 2 figures did. If we flip him up underneath here, he's not meant to stand. He's meant to sit on the speeder bike, so they didn't put any foot pegs in there, which is why I have sticky tack so that he can stand. Otherwise, he's going to fall over. That's what he looks like from the side. Okay, and then we turn around the back. That's what he looks like from the back as well. And you can see there's not much paint detail on the figure. They did paint the helmet all the way around. You see his hair protruding under the helmet there on the side. So that's the Luke Skywalker that we got in 97. And then, of course, here's the poncho that he's got wearing over. He's got the belt painted on over here. You can see it's a loose, pliable plastic. It just fits over easily. You can take it off, take it on. It's a nice sculpt. Preferable cloth goods, but nonetheless, we're going with the times in Power of the Force 2. That's what we got. So the next release of Luke Skywalker we'd get would be in 1998. Also part of the Power of the Force 2 line. Again, he wasn't a single carded release. He came as part of a special commemorative set. There was also one with Han Solo and one with Princess Leia as well at the time. And they made a C-3PO, and they made an Emperor Palpatine, and they made a Snowtrooper, if memory serves me correct. So Luke Skywalker came with a Millennium minted coin. So the figures were a little bit premium price-wise, but they had some more deco, and some of the figures were brand new releases. And Luke Skywalker, of course, was enough notable release to pick him up again. So you can see here he comes with a Millennium minted coin here. You can turn this all the way around to see front and back. And if I bring that Power of the Force one over that we have over here, let's see if I can do that without knocking everything over, you can see that it's exactly the same coin. Okay, in the exact same color as well. So anybody that was collecting the coins or liked the coin set to commemorate the Power of the Force stuff, initially they made Millennium minted coins with some of them. And it wasn't a very popular line because the figures were more expensive. It was a better price option to get, the figures that didn't come with a gimmick like this, but nonetheless you got it with a stand, which was nice, and you got it with a figure. In this case, some of the figures were brand new depictions of him. And here, Luke Skywalker is a notable difference from his other one. So let's take him off the stand just to look at him here. We can see that he came with a few accessories as well. He's got the DL-44 blaster in hand there, which was common with a lot of the figures. He's got one there, so that gives it some more play value. So we can look at that there. He's got a lightsaber as well, so he comes with his green lightsaber, so he can, take out the speeder biker scouts on Endor. So he's got that there. It's got a nice handle. Let's bring my hand over here so you can see the handle there as well. So they've come a long way with lightsabers, of course, as well. With the Power of the Force 2 line, they had started long, and now they're the right size, and the handle's different, and it's nice translucent plastic, which is nice. And of course, here's the Luke. Now you'll notice the Luke is different from the one we just looked at with the speeder bike, because even though he's got the same poncho and the same head, there's added paint detail here, which the other one didn't have. It didn't have any camo on it. This one does. See the nice camo painted on the figure there, and it's got the belt painted black across here with more detail on the silver belt buckle. It's basically the same figure from the waist up, but from the waist down it's not, because he's got brand new legs, okay, and the legs aren't articulated at the knees. So he's got standard legs on there, and it's got foot pegs. But a notable difference on that Luke Skywalker just with a paint job. You can see it on the helmet as well. If I bring his head up close here, you can see on the helmet there's some, weathering, silver weathering around the top of the helmet there. That's what he looks like from the front. And let's flip him around over here to the side, see what it looks like from the side, and then from the back. And you can see on the back the nice camo. It's such a nice, different look to the figure. He looks a lot more accurate to how he made his appearance in Endor in the Return of the Jedi. So let's do a side-by-side comparison with the other one as well, just so we can look at them together, and you can see notable differences on the figure here, particularly, of course, on the legs, and then especially that poncho. It's night and day difference having, you know, the camo on there and the belt buckle painted and the weathering on the helmet. So they've got a lot more detail in that respect as well. Let's turn around from the back so we can look at that one more time. Okay, so that's what we get in 1998. Wanted to do a quick, you know, close-up here of the stand as well. The stand's nice. You know, it's got two pegs here for his feet to stand on, so he can stand in his action pose, and they fit perfectly. And he comes with the Millennium Minted coin. Now, of course, not until doing this review, more than 20 years later, did I find something interesting on there. I was trying to pack this away at one point, and then I wanted to see whether the coin part was removable. You can see underneath there it says 1998 Lucasfilm, Hasbro, made in China. So this part actually does come off if you did want to pack it away. So you could put that away, or you can leave it on. And if we turn this around to the back here, you can see the coin detail front and back. So the coin has a brand new logo here on the back from what it had on the Power of the Force one back in 1984/85. And you can actually take the coin out. So I'm not sure how many people know this, but I was examining it to see whether I can take the coin out. And there's a little lip here underneath where you can grasp it with your finger, pull that up, and you can take the coin right out. All right, so there's the coin. It comes right out. So if you wanted to display your coins or put them in a different medium to display them, you can take this one out, and it's a nice, perfectly depicted coin and a nice gold finish of Luke on his bike, and that's front and back. So how neat is that you can actually take it out of that plastic holder. Okay, so Luke Skywalker wouldn't get in a single carded release in the modern era until a few years later. So 2006, with the Saga collection, they released a Luke Skywalker in soft goods Endor gear, which is an awesome figure. We'll just bring that one forward over here. That's what he looks like carded. Now, these card backs were awesome. If you had one of the American card backs, you had it with a nice screen depiction in the back, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't open this one, because it looked so good on card. And you can see Luke Skywalker there in movie representation, and you can see him in his soft goods in there. And then this version was initially basically the Jabba's Palace Luke from 2004, so from a few years previous, and they just stuck a poncho on him and they gave him a helmet and they called him Endor Luke. But that's more than sufficient because that's the movie that he came from. So it's a perfect figure. He's got full articulation all around him, which is nice. They've got a long way. He's got a holster and stuff. I have a loose version we're going to look at in a second. Just wanted to show you the card back. I just turned this one back, and there it's got a bio on Luke at the top, some more information on him and the other figures that were in the line, including that horrendous Emperor figure that we looked at in a different review, and some other figures on there, some hologram figures, one of Darth Maul. The figures came with these exclusive hologram figures as well. There's a whole bunch of different ones in there. This one is a Rebel Fleet Trooper, and they came in different colors. They came in red, they came in blue as well, translucent colors. And so that's some of the figures that this came with. So they would re-release an Endor Luke figure that I have loose here in 2009, part of the Legacy Collection Battle Pack, and it was basically the 2007 30th anniversary Luke Jedi Knight, but this time with soft goods, and they made him into Endor Luke. So that's this one over here. So he's got that same poncho of the one that we just looked at carded, but it's a better sculpt of Luke Skywalker. So you can see him holding his lightsaber in hand there. He does have his holster here with the gun. He does have full articulation on there. It's the exact same figure as that 30th anniversary Luke. His helmet is removable, so you can see that as well. So you can see him without the helmet on. Okay, and we can take a nice close-up look at the helmet. It's a nice design. It's got the buckle open over here because Luke didn't have the buckle closed. No safety concerns for a Jedi Knight. And that's what the helmet looks like all the way around. So that's Luke Skywalker. Let's put his helmet back on there. He's got the soft goods. You can take them off. So it's basically Jedi Knight Luke underneath there. But he's got that nice holster with the gun. Let's pull the gun out so you can have a look at that. You can see that the tip of it was painted. So they've come a long way with the weapons as well in these figures now by 2006 standards. And of course, no swivel at the waist, but he does have articulation at his knees there. And unlike the one that was in the packaging there, I know it's a different sculpt, but they did paint the boots a lighter gray as well. So the Luke has more detail on him. That's what he looks like from the front. Okay, let's just put his arm down there. Let's look at him underneath there. He does have foot pegs as well. That's what he looks like from the side. And that's what he looks like from the back. And you can see it's a nice detailed poncho. The poncho is a little darker than it appeared in the movie, but it's definitely an upgrade to have it as soft goods, because that original one was soft goods. We need to have a soft goods Luke. And you can see he does have a hoodie here as well, so that hood's sitting in the back and you can put it on if you want to, but he's always had it down in the photo. So that's the figure that we got in 2009, part of the Legacy Collection Battle Pack, based on that 2007 Luke Jedi Knight. So we wouldn't get another Luke Skywalker in his Endor poncho outfit for a while. Now, George Lucas decided to retire and sold Star Wars off to Disney in order to keep it alive and keep it going. And then Luke Skywalker would make his return in the Endor outfit, part of the Rebels Saga Legends line. Now, that was in 2015. They went back to 5 points of articulation, so it went backwards when it comes to what we're used to with the figures here. We'll throw one up on the screen to have a look at. And you can see just in the photo that it's just basically a standard basic Luke Skywalker. And because they were doing the Rebels figures, they wanted to have some of the movie stuff, and they intertwined it here and there. And I don't have one with me, but of course that picture will be sufficient enough to describe what we did get. It wouldn't be until 2021 that we'd finally get a definitive version of the vintage collection of Luke Skywalker in his Endor disguise. And this one would be a Walmart exclusive. I just received mine in the mail recently. I was ecstatic to get it. I know that he actually did come out on the Power of the Force line, but I'll still take it on the Return of the Jedi card because it's such a beautiful figure. So here's Luke Skywalker on card, definitive release here. You can see the card back is the same photo as the one from the Power of the Force line. If we bring the camera closer over here, we can see what Luke Skywalker looks like in packaging there. It comes with this blaster, fully painted handle as well. He comes with a lightsaber ignited and not ignited on there. And you can see that he's got a soft goods poncho inside the packaging as well. We're going to look at one loose, but that's Luke Skywalker on card. It's just a beautiful figure with that orange coloring in the back behind the figure. It definitely reminiscent of those vintage figures. We turn around to the back. You can see they have the timeline over here with all the movies that they were doing with the special releases. And you can see there are figures that were part of the Walmart exclusives there. There's a Death Star droid, there's a Tusken Raider, and then of course Luke Skywalker Endor, and then his number is 198. So that's Luke Skywalker carded. Now we're going to look at him loose as well. So I have him over here. Let's bring him forward. So that's Luke Skywalker that we just received. Definitive version. I guess one of the gripes that came up initially with this figure is that he doesn't have a removable helmet. In this case, I know they were trying to get that exact image of the head, and you can see it's exactly Mark Hamill. Like, the sculpting on these guys is so good that you can see the detail that went into putting that technology on there. The helmet does actually look like it's removable, but it's not. But the way it's sitting on his head, it's a perfect depiction of Luke Skywalker. It would have been nice if they don't have a removable helmet to actually put an alternate head in there, because it isn't a ball joint. They could have put an alternate head in the packaging just so you can take the poncho off and then have the Death Star duel Luke as well. But I guess then that would mean that you wouldn't have to buy two figures. Go figure. So there's his lightsaber. I'm going to just take that out of his hand so we can look at that. You can see the lightsaber's fully detailed on there. They've got the gold or bronze painting on the handle as well as the black, so you know it's Luke Skywalker's right away with that blade. And he does come with his blaster as well. So there's his blaster. Let's take that out and have a look at it close up. So that's the blaster that he's got that he was using at Jabba's palace. Fully detailed as well. You can see, numerous coloring on the blaster, considering how small it was. They've gone all out with these figures, which is awesome. And of course, Luke Skywalker, let's have a look at him close up. Articulation wise, he does have a ball joint at the shoulders. He does have it at the elbows as well, so you can see that on there. And of course, he's got his wrist articulation. And these small figures, as small as they are, he's even got it at the wrist there where you can move that up or down. If you look at that closely, you can see the ball there as well. So as far as the waist, he moves side to side, doesn't have anything that takes him front to back. He does have the poncho on with the elastic holding it. I know he had a belt previous to that, and the poncho just kind of an elastic, but still, it doesn't take away from the figure. I think it still keeps the look looking good. He's got balls at the hips, so you can move his legs up. You can put him on a speeder bike if you wanted to. You can bend his knees That's what he looks like there. And of course his ankles as well. He does have articulation there at the ankle. So you have that on both sides. If we flip him up underneath here, we can see he's got his foot pegs. A little bit hard to see in the light there because his feet are really black. Okay, and that's what he looks like from the side. Okay, and then from the back, and of course he does have the hoodie on, so you can see what he looks like there. And then there's his poncho. And of course the poncho sitting over with that elastic. You gotta kind of pull his arms down in order to do the folds, but nothing gets in the way. You can sculpt this guy perfectly. So perfect rendition of Luke Skywalker. We've been really spoiled with the Lukes over the last couple of years. They've basically released every single version of him, but we're missing one of the most important ones, and they need to make a new Farm Boy Luke. Like, we're waiting for that. We've been waiting for it for years. I don't know how it's escaping. I'm hoping that it's coming up, but that's the Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker that we got as part of the vintage collection. Let's put him back on his peg there. And let's look at one more representation of Luke Skywalker in his Endor outfit over here. It wouldn't be right if we didn't talk about the Black Series one, because they got such an amazing Luke Skywalker. So the Black Series Endor Luke was first announced and shown pictures of as part of a 2020 release Heroes of Endor set. So it was supposed to be a San Diego Comic-Con set, but because Comic-Con got canceled due to the pandemic, then we got it as part of a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. So that came out in the fall. And if you're a lucky few, you got them before the end of the year. If you weren't like me, then you got a notice saying, yeah, you're going to get it in March next year. And sure enough, it came in March. It came with Han. It came with Leia. It came with the Luke and Endor outfit, and you could take the outfits on or off to use them in the scenes. It also came with a speeder bike and an exclusive Paplu. So here's the Luke Skywalker over here. He did come on a single release as well later on, towards the end of 2020. But he's an amazing figure. He's a very awesome action figure. You can see he's got his lightsaber in hand. It's almost like a 6-inch version of the 3 3/4 inch one that we have. His cloth goods are a little bit more detailed. They did make a belt buckle on here, so it's a little bit different from the Luke that we got 3 3/4 inch wise, but it's a perfect figure. He does have his helmet on there. The helmet does come off if you wanted to remove it. Let's see if I can take that off to show you in the video here. It's a little tight and snug on there, but that's the helmet off on the Luke Skywalker, and you can see his head sculpt's a little bit different from the other Jedi Knight that we have because his hair is wet. It's a little more ruffled up because it's depicted like he's been on Endor riding a speeder bike. He's got his lightsaber in hand, of course. Full articulation on the figure. It's a perfect sculpt on there at the knees, at the ankles. So a definitive Black Series release for Luke Skywalker. And if you weren't able to get him in the Hasbro Pulse exclusive set with Han and Leia, then you were able to get him on the single release. The only one that wasn't available single release was the Paplu. So that's the Luke. You can see him looking over there as well. I turn around from the back to show you what it looks like, and you can see the full detail on his poncho. It's very accurate to the movie, to the film. And then the hoodie here, they've done something neat with the hoodie. They've attached it, sewn here to the bottom so that it doesn't get up and interfere with the way it would look on Luke when he's standing posing. Okay, so that's the Luke Skywalker that we got as part of the Black Series. And that's all the Luke Skywalkers that we have year to date. I think that they've completed them. I think that Luke's got a definitive release. I don't think it gets any better than this with this Luke Skywalker, but we wanted to talk about him. He's definitely a reason to talk about or celebrate Luke Skywalker. I enjoy making these videos, like I say, all the time. It's such a fun trip to go down memory lane and see the original release and talk about that original, Final 17 figure, and then see how he's changed from the Power of the Force 2 to the Saga 1 to the definitive Vintage Collection 1. And of course, if you're a Black Series fan, you have that option as well. So thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you again in another video. Take care.